Thank you for staying with us on Holy Land Uncovered. It's now the time of the program in which our reporter Shelby Weiner tells us about her latest adventure in the Holy Land and the communities she meets with. Shelby, this week I understand that you met with a community that you met before, right? You revisited an old community.
Old friends that we visited, and to get there we brought a time machine. Not because we were going back in time to the last time we met, but because we did a reenactment of a battle from the Middle Ages. And if you didn't know it, you probably could have thought you were 1,000 years ago, because that is how specific and accurate these reenactments are. It's really something special here in Israel, in the Holy Land, and it captures this emotion and vibe that you can't get anywhere else in the world. So before we get into the details of this crazy community, let's look at the report. The Battle of Hattin took place almost 1,000 years ago. But if you were to see the long overlooked battlefield today, you might think the Crusades are still taking place. A local reenactment group, the Kingdom of Jerusalem, organizes the 3-day event every year, and with the help of volunteers, one of the most famous battles of the Middle Ages is brought to life.
יש לנו הרבה מקורות בכתב שמתעדים את זה עד לרזולוציה, עד לרמה של פרט. כאן זה שילוב מנצח, יש לך סיפור יפה, דרמטי וחיבור לנוף, ואתה יכול לעקוב אחרי זה 3 ימים, פתאום זה מקבל נפח. יש לך אישויות, יש לך דמויות שחיו פה, אתה יודע איך הם דיברו, מה הם הרגישו, ואתה מרגיש את זה איתם, והסיפור הזה מתחיל להיות חי, וזה נקרא היסטוריה, living history.
The story is not the only thing followed in precise detail. Accurate period clothing and accessories are a prerequisite for all participants.
אני עכשיו לבוש כאביר פרנק, ככה קוראים להם פרנקים, הוא צלבני במאה ה-12, לבוש על שריון טבעות, נקרא אובר, טבעות מוסמרות, אביר פרש, מעל זה יש לקודר, צבע אדום, ומתחת יש כמה שכבות של חולצה תחתונה, הכל זה תפירה, סטיץ', handmade, הכל.
I make all my clothing myself, my shoes. That's probably the main part of it for me, but also being able to use the items again. And I was speaking to an archaeologist the other day, and we have this pen, and he didn't understand the full function of how it worked because he'd never used it.
The annual event attracts history lovers of all kinds. It is the only project in Israel that shows a fully functioning representation of life in the Crusader Kingdom. It is also unique in the world of reenactments. Very few have the opportunity to recreate history in the exact location it happened.
Well, in the United States, of course, the Crusades didn't actually happen, so it was a bit unique to be able to actually come on the actual roads and the locations that the events took place, which is very special.
The battle itself was in 1187 against Sultan Salah ad-Din's forces during the Second Crusade. The clash killed the majority of the Crusader army and gave Muslims control of the Holy Land once again.
This battle was a key moment in the history of Crusader states. It's actually the time after which Crusader states became smaller and never rose again as much as they were.
That particular army never recovered, but the Crusades did not end there. 4 more major crusades would march across the Holy Land after the lost Battle of Hattin.
Shelby, it looks like a large-scale production, very detailed. What was it like?
Well, it is very detailed. It takes them a year to prepare for this event every year. So now that it's completed, they're already in the works, getting ready to do it all over again next year. And it's really a remarkable experience because of how much attention they really pay to those details of history. Not only do they get all of the clothing right, but they
it's hot outside, we should say.
Yes, and that is a whole other story which we can talk about in a moment. But I want to focus on how detailed they follow the story. In the records historically of this battle, it notes that the captain put up a tent at the battlefield, and towards the end of the battle, the Muslim army came and conquered and knocked down the tent, and they followed that to the exact detail, and even the location. There's description of exactly where the battle took place on this mountain, which is actually near a volcano. It's called the Horns of Hattin, and because of that, it gives a very accurate description of where in the valley the battle took place, and they follow that precisely.
That's amazing.
Really detailed.
So who are they, these people?
So primarily the reenactors in this group are from Russia. So it's a large Russian community, some living here, some coming from Russia for the event. And that also speaks of itself, that people are traveling to Israel specifically to take part
in this
event, which I had no idea. It was a surprise to me when I went there. I thought it would be kind of like medieval festivals I went to in America. So definitely a new experience.
Thank you for bringing us this amazing, colorful report. And that is all from Holy Land Uncovered for this week. You can always join our conversation on Facebook and Twitter. Also find us on the website. That's i24NEWS.tv. Now remember to join us again next week. We'll have more stories. Thank you for watching.